So you've stumbled upon a piece of equipment that looks similar to this guy right here. Maybe this was a gift, or maybe you somehow found it and picked one up yourself. And now you have no idea how to use it or what to even do with this thing, but you know it will give you a shave. I'm working with roughly 2 to 3 days worth of growth. By the end of this video, I'm gonna be clean shaved and you're gonna have a better understanding of how to use a double-edge safety razor. Speaking of double-edge safety razors, this right here is the Henson AL13 Aggressive. And this is the first time that I'll be using the Henson AL13 Aggressive. So I'm super jacked to give this thing a run. For my soap, I'll be using Phoenix Shaving Doppelgänger Black Label. And now this soap is a homage to the one and only Dior Sauvage. This is an unbelievable scent with its fresh warmthness within it and a bit of citrus. This is a beautiful scented soap. To lather up this beautiful scented soap, I'll be using the Alpha synthetic brush. And then once the growth is gone and I'm clean shaved, I'll go ahead with Phoenix Shaving Doppelgänger Black Label Aftershave Splash. And of course, since I already have it, I'll be ending off the entire shave with your Sauvage EDP. So for the software that I'm using today, I'm going to leave a link down below so you can go ahead and check out what Phoenix Shaving has to offer. They have a ton of different soaps and fragrances, hardware as in razors and brushes, you name it, they've got it. Click the link down in the description, check out everything they have. All right, let me go ahead and apply the PAA Cube 2.0. PAA is Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements or Phoenix Shaving. Now that I have the pre-shave on, let me go ahead and load my brush. And when I say loading my brush, I mean adding soap to my brush dry. I used to load my brush while it was wet, but I didn't like how my tub was all wet and grimy inside. Personally, I'm not a big fan of that. All right, so my brush is nicely loaded. Now let's go ahead and paint on the soap. Now I'll go ahead and load my razor with a Persona Platinum. So this is going to be a bit of a tutorial on how to load your razor. I recommend holding the razor like so, whether you have a blade in here or you don't. This way you're trained to constantly grab the side, because heaven forbid you do have a blade in here and you grab it like so. That's gonna hurt. Hold the razor like this at all times. Next, while you're holding the razor, the handle, you twist it. And now what you're gonna wanna do is remove the bottom plate from the top cap. Now on a side note, the Henson has 3 different aggressions. They have a mild, which is a plus. They have a medium, which is a plus plus. And they have their aggressive razor, which is a plus plus plus. And if you're wondering, well, where the heck is this plus? When you remove the bottom plate from the top cap, look under the top cap and you should see a plus sign. Now, if you have 1 plus, you got a mild. You have 2 pluses, you got a medium. And if you have 3 pluses, well, it's aggressive. You take your top cap and your blade, you can see that it has a little pillar. And in the middle of your blade, you have a center hole. Just put it in like so. Now you take your bottom plate. And the beautiful thing about Henson is they make it very easy to install your blade. You're just gonna match everything up. There you go. Blade is in. Now let's go ahead and install the handle. When tightening your razor, you don't have to tighten it super tight. Just get it to where it's snug and it isn't moving. So the Henson Aggressive is all loaded and it's ready to get to work. Now what I'm gonna do is start really building up this lather. If you remember, I had mentioned that I load my brush dry. So right now, there isn't any water or hydration in this brush, but it's loaded with soap. So what I'm gonna do, dunk it into the sink of water, give it a few swirls, then give it a few really good shakes to get most of the water out and start building up my lather. Now my brush is loaded with water. Let's start lathering. So what I'm doing here by pressing the brush right into my face is I am splaying the brush, or some people call it breaking the backbone. And what this does is it helps build up that lather, and it also helps lift the hairs to be cut. Wow, this soap has such a beautiful masculine scent to it. It really resembles Dior Sauvage, PAA. They do such amazing work with their soaps. And if you're looking for a great soap, guys, at this point, I have not found one that I haven't enjoyed. Definitely check out that link. All right, so I feel like my face has enough lather on here to get me through my first pass. And what I mean by first pass, the first round of shaving. And what I also like to do on my first pass is I like to go with the grain. And what do I mean by with the grain? We'll use my cheeks as an example. On my cheeks, my growth or my hair grows downward. So when I shave downward, I'm going with the grain. All right, here we go. For my first pass with the Henson AL13 Aggressive, I'm going with the grain. All right, and there you have it. First pass done. I have to say, with the Henson AL13 medium, mild, and aggressive, this aggressive is definitely that. It is the most aggressive razor out of the three. It's still very enjoyable. I don't know if I would recommend this razor to somebody new, but definitely pick one of these up once you have enough experience with wet shaving. And before I move forward, I also want to point something out. As you can see, I have a mole here. Now, I've been shaving for a little over a year and a half. I've gone over this beauty mark a million times. I may have nicked myself once, maybe even twice. And that was only because I wasn't paying attention or I was being too aggressive. If you have any sort of beauty marks or blemishes on your face and you're worried that you're gonna cut yourself all the time with a razor, I recommend still getting into traditional wet shaving, but I also recommend taking your time and letting the razor do the work. Don't press too hard, don't go all crazy, and you should be perfectly fine. So now let me go ahead and get ready for my second pass. Okay, you might be a little confused here because you're used to your cartridge razor and you just do your one shave and you're out the door. Now you have to go put shaving cream on again and go for another shave. At the end of the day, you don't have to do that. You can do just one pass and be on your way. The beautiful thing about traditional wet shaving is this is you time. This is something that you get to do that you enjoy. I get it. You're new or you're just investigating what this razor thing is all about and how it all works. Traditional wet shaving is geared towards each individual person. So let me go ahead, hydrate my face a little more, get the lather going, and get on with that second pass. Hold tight. All right, here we go. Second pass with the Henson AL13 Aggressive, and I'm going across the grain. Across the grain? What does that mean? So when I'm going across the grain, I'm going sideways or across my growth. All right, there you have it. Second pass done. This here is a beauty of a razor. I got to admit, I'm a little surprised that it is as aggressive as it is, but it's still extremely easy to use. And I'm really enjoying this thing. Now let me go ahead, get my face wet, and get in there for my third and final pass. 3 passes? You're gonna be shaving all day. Like I had just mentioned, wet shaving is an individual person's experience. For me, I get my best shaves when I do 3 passes. Once again, if you only want to do 1 in and out and go on with your day, you're more than welcome to. If you want to do 2, I mean, by all means, you go at it. You want to do 3, awesome. I hear ya. You and I are a lot alike. Anything more than 3, you do you. It's your shave. You enjoy it, my friend. Let me go ahead, get that water on my face, and get this lather built up. I am loving this soap. Not only is the scent fantastic, but the slickness and residual slickness of this is fantastic. Hold up, what do you mean slickness and residual slickness? What the heck's that? When I say slickness, what I mean is while you're shaving, it's almost like the razor is just sliding along. It's an amazing feeling, hence the slickness. What I mean by residual slickness, once I shave off all the soap, and let's say I have to go back and do an extra little shave here and there, if the soap has great residual slickness, I won't add more soap on there. I'll just use the leftover slickness of the soap, hence residual slickness. So let me go ahead and get on with that third and final pass. This time I'm going against the grain. Chris, what do you mean by against the grain? Once again, the growth on my cheeks go downward. So when I'm going with the grain, I'm shaving downward. Now I'm going against the grain, which means I'll be shaving upwards. So here we go for my third final pass with the Henson AL13 Aggressive, and I'm going against the grain. Oh, but before I do that, look at how much soap I still have left over. Look at this. All right, now let me get in there for my third pass with the Henson AL13 Aggressive. And there you have it. Third pass is done. This razor feels fantastic. But I really shouldn't be surprised because just like all the other Hensons, they're all amazing razors in my opinion. They make it so easy to find that angle to give you a great cut. Because if you don't have that right angle, you're not going to be cutting anything. Now, what do you mean by right angle? What I recommend doing without a blade is putting the top cap to the area that you're going to cut. So for example, let's say I'm going to start here. And what I'm going to do is just go down until I either feel the blade or I feel a bit of the gap. And there it is, right there. I can feel that gap, not so much the blade. All right, let me go ahead, wash off the rest of the soap, finish off the rest of the shave. Hold tight. All right, let me get in there with the Parker's alum block. So what I just did was apply alum to my face. Now the alum serves a few different purposes. It will help with any irritation and or nicks that you may have gotten during your shave. And for me, what it does is it gives me a good indication on how well that shave actually went. For example, if my face was really burning or stinging after applying the alum, then I know, hey, I was being really aggressive during that shave. Maybe I should settle down a little bit. And now, if I'm feeling a slight sting or maybe a little bit of a tingle, then I know I actually had a pretty darn good shave. And right now, I'm feeling a very slight sting. I already felt like I was having a great shave, and this alum just confirmed it. Now, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clean up my gear and clean my area, get everything ready for my next shave. When I'm done cleaning everything up, I will go ahead and wash off the alum with cold water. I do recommend washing the alum off, so hold tight while I get my gear and area all cleaned up. Alright, so this beautiful Henson AL13 Aggressive razor is all cleaned up and it's ready for its next use. And now this beautiful Alpha synthetic brush is all cleaned up and it's ready for its next use. So I've gone ahead and I've cleaned up the rest of my area. And actually, while I've been cleaning, I could feel the alum on my face, tingling and working its magic and doing its thing, maybe tightening my skin. While I'm speaking to you right now, I still feel the alum tingling and working its magic. So what I'm gonna do now with cold water is I'm gonna go ahead and wash off the alum and get ready to put on some Thayers. First, I'll apply the clear Thayers, followed by the hydrating milky toner. And when it comes to the clear Thayers, what I've done is I've added it to a mister. I found I was wasting a ton pouring it directly into my hands. So with this mister, I feel like I'm not wasting as much. Now I'll go ahead with the Thayers Hydrating Milky Toner. And I use about a dime size worth. Alright, let's go ahead and splash on some Phoenix Shaving Doppelgänger Black Label Aftershave Splash. Whoa, that's good. Oh, I think I went a little overboard on the amount, but hey, this is fantastic. The burn feels great. Face is feeling nicely hydrated. The scent is out of this world. What an amazing aftershave. If you don't have any PAA, aka Phoenix Shaving, you need to get some as soon as possible. I have to say, if I only had the soap and the splash, I would be very satisfied, but I will be ending off the entire shave with your Sauvage EDP. Alright, and there you have it. End of the shave. I really hope you were able to get something out of this shave, maybe even how to load your razor. On that note, you make it a great shave, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.